I'm Jay Ramey of RoCo Radio here with the head coach of the Morehead Panthers boys basketball team, Damien Price. Coach Price, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us. And so first, let's talk about Avery Bigelow. Avery Bigelow was almost averaging a double double. He led the team in blocks, rebounds, offensive rebounds, second on the team in points. Contributed a lot. He was the big man. How is Morehead going to replace him?
I think we're gonna have to do it by committee. That was a big loss. Like you said, rebounding, he kind of controlled the boards offensively and defensively. Um, on the offensive end, we could at times throw the ball into him and just almost guarantee a bucket depending on who we're playing. We really don't have that type of post play. Our post play will be a little different, so we'll have to do it by committee.
Would you say that there's any size that's going to be added in, or is this going to be a smaller basketball team?
I would say lengthwise, we should be maybe the same, but his girth and strength and experience, that part we lack. We are pretty athletic, pretty long. So, we're really gonna have to crash the offensive boards and, you know, run a few sets to get the ball where we want to get it inside.
So let's look at the players that you did retain from last year. There was a group of guys that were juniors last year: Titus Woods, Roy Thompson, Josiah Thomas, and I'm missing one, Kevin Corum. They all contributed a lot, and they're coming back for their senior year. So let's talk a little bit about them. What's something you'd like to see out of Titus Woods in this upcoming 25-26 year?
I think he had a good summer. Really looking forward to him limiting his turnovers that he had last year. Um, he's worked on his shot. I want to see him gain some confidence and be able to knock some open shots down. He's a very vocal leader. I just want him to continue that and get better and encourage his teammates and lead the right way.
And kind of looking back, what is something that Kevin Corum has improved on since his freshman year?
I know it's cliche, but he's improved on everything. Um, you know, he's probably I'm not gonna say probably. He is the best condition player we have right now. Um, he he he'll probably have to play high minutes a lot of times the entire game. Um, he really worked on his body, worked on his legs because he's a great shooter. But towards the end of the games last year, he didn't have the legs and he would come up short. He started fading on his shot. We're really going to rely on him to do a lot, especially on the offensive end this year.
What would you say something's Roy Thompson does better than most players at the high school level? Not at Morehead, but just overall.
Listen, anything you tell him to do, he's going to do it. You can throw 35 plays in one day, he's going to remember it. He's always going to be in the right spot. Um, Undersized at the position we play, but I would say the one thing that he does better than anybody is compete. He's gonna give you 110%. He's gonna get on the floor. He's gonna take charges. Um, all those intangible things that coaches look for in players.
What would you say a successful season for Josiah Thomas would be? He set the bar pretty high.
I would say a successful season for Josiah Thomas is being healthy. Um, since his sophomore year, he's had an illness, not really injury wise, but some kind of illness is taking him out of the lineup for 1 2 weeks at a time. If he's healthy, he's gonna produce. That we know. Really talented kid, really athletic kid, um, smart, knows how to play, block shots, does a little bit of all. Handle the ball for us. We kind of moved him from inside um, to the wing last year. So he'll do a little bit of both, mainly inside this year. So his main thing is staying healthy. If he's healthy, and he's available, he'll produce for us.
It was those four guys and Avery Bigelow that were the main names last year. Who's going to who's going to step up? Not in the role of Bigelow, obviously, but I'm saying who are some guys who are really going to step up as opposed to last year? Any freshmen coming in, any sophomores that could make a big leap?
Definitely. Right off the top of my head, Aiden Haygood. Right now he's in the starting lineup, and Josiah's place as he has the flu. I think he may be out maybe another 3 or 4 days. Um, Wide body kid, and even during the summer and preseason, he has to know every position on every play because he's played every position from point guard to center. Um, Rebounds it, passes it, handles it, shoots it. One thing I like to see him do is get in better shape. Um, Another sophomore, Isaiah Abdul, really talented kid, can score the ball. Um, Trying to move him along as far as knowing the system because he's kind of robotic right now. But once he gets the system, his talents will shine through. Other than that, upperclassmen, I like to see a big leap from Skylar Perez. He shoots the ball well, but we would like to see him do, a lot more things, especially on the defensive end and handling the ball a little better.
Do you think this is going to be a team that really relies on the seniors though to pull them through?
Mm, I think they will have a huge impact on whether we're successful or not. But I think it's going to be a group effort. The underclassmen, they're just as talented as the seniors, just lack that experience. So we'll see as the season goes along who comes through, who steps up to the plate.
You've been around the basketball game forever, so how how big do you think the leap is usually? Just usually from what you see, from the sophomore year to junior year, do you think it's a bigger leap for that than the junior year to the senior year? And if so, then why?
Um, Sophomore, I would say probably sophomore to junior. Um, a lot of times sophomore to junior, if they're on JV, they really haven't experienced the varsity level yet. And if they're on the varsity, they aren't getting the time on the court. They're getting the practice experience with the varsity guys, but they aren't getting the time on the court that they really need to gain that experience and confidence. Um, I think both leaps are important. I think Kevin Corum made another leap. I think you'll see he'll be on another level. I'll be surprised if he doesn't lead us in scoring. If not, maybe second. Um, so I guess it could be both, but
Just depends on the player.
depending on the player, definitely.
So you mentioned earlier Kevin Corum. He's got the legs to just run it all over the place like a soccer player almost. Do you think that Moorhead's going to be a fast-paced, push the pace kind of offense, or do you think you'll try to slow it down in the half court?
No, I think we're gonna have to push the pace. Like I was saying, we're undersized. You know, based on what we've seen in the last couple of years, size wise. Um, but we're pretty athletic, and we can get up and down the court. You see a lot more trapping and picking up, pressuring the ball, and more motion type offense. So I definitely don't want to play a slower pace game. I don't think that would be advantageous to us.
Do you think that'll lead into defensively? It's going to be a frenetic defense trying to force turnovers instead of just setting up and waiting on it.
Definitely hitting those passing lanes, trying to get deflections and steals, and getting out on the break and playing.
Okay, and so Moorhead, for some reason, since COVID, has been 32 and 19 at home, and then 21 and 24 away from 2021 to 2024. So, why do you think that is? Do you think Moorhead's fan base has contributed to it? It's kind of the I don't want to say it's the luck of the draw because usually you're playing teams home and away. So, do you
hmm
think that what do you think it is that's making Moorhead so much better at home than they are away?
I would say the fan base. I think there's a lot of things that contribute to it. Fan base. Kids just being familiar with the atmosphere. We have a really good student section that we have under the basket, and I think they always give us a lift. And on the road, our conference is so tough. I think it's been aside from Reeves the last couple of years, even going back, it could be 4 or 5 teams in any given season that could have, come first, second, and third in our conference. So going on the road is always tough.
What's your thoughts on this new conference? A lot of the teams carrying over from last year. You got the Walkertown, you got McMichael Reedsville in there, but adding in Rockingham County, Carver, and Bartlett Yancey. What's your thoughts?
Um, I'm yet to see. We're familiar with Rockingham. One of my good friends who I played high school ball with is a coach at Carver. So, I've kept up with them the last couple of years. They'll be tough. Barley Yancey, local team. We played them in the past. Um, it'll be some familiar faces. Hard to say the talent level. Walkertown's still in there. They're always tough.
Hmm.
Hard to see the talent level on the teams we haven't seen, but from the past, they've always been competitive games.
So about a year ago, I went to a Morehead Rockingham County game in Eden, and the atmosphere was crazy. So do you think it's going to add to the rivalry that it's a conference game now as well? Because these teams already didn't seem to like each other 10 miles down the road. Does the fact that this counts a little bit more in the standings add to the pressure?
I hope so. Me personally, I always like big games. And Rockingham has been a rival Morehead since the beginning of the time. I think, conference standings and bragging rights, that definitely adds another element into the rivalry. So hopefully it'll be, you brought up that game, brought some bad feelings. I can still see the shot that got hit in the corner on us last year. So
Student section holding signs, everything. It was crazy.
yeah,
Do you think that it helps your team when there's added pressure on it? Because some teams can't handle it. But do you think that it makes your team perform better?
I would like to think so. I would like to think that anytime there's pressure, that we'll step up to the plate. But once again, you never know. You never know till you step your foot in that fire. But like you said earlier, with the senior leadership and experience for those guys, I hope the younger guys can lean on them, in times like that and help them step up to the plate.
And lastly, coach, of course, the basketball playoffs in the RPI, they factor in your opponent's win percentage, but that's not what I'm talking about here. So, six of your first seven games against teams with a winning record from last year. What's the importance of being battle tested down the stretch? Not for playoff seeding reasons, but just to get your team ready for those big games.
Well, the preseason, we look at it in three different seasons. Preseason, we count that as one season. The little Christmas time, we count that as another season. Then we tackle the conference. We normally use the non-conference, to get some guys some experience. You just want to play teams that you're going to roll over, because you're not going to roll over teams once you get in the conference when it really counts. So, we try to put them in situations where they're going to rise to a level and raise their level of play.
As Coach Damien Price on a hoop season preview, thank you so much. Good luck to the Morehead boys.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it.
Have a good one.